don't know what's more confusing, learning astrology or just being a human. Moonday Musings is here to help with that. A weekly, no bullshit guide for the upcoming cosmic forecast and how you can actually use this in your real life. Hello, neighbor. Happy Monday. Happy Moonday, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of Moonday Musings with me, Danny, that witch next door. I'll be your host, your guide, your mentor, your instructor, your spiritual bestie in all things modern witchcraft and cosmic living. I help practitioners of all levels, backgrounds, and abilities connect with real magic in their real life. And here on Moonday Musings, we make sense of what the hell is going on, astrologically speaking, how that's reflecting in our real lives around us, and what it means for us, how we can work with it, how we can let this shape our intentions in our life and our witchcraft practice, so that we're getting the most out of our experience, so that we're tapping into our full potential, so that we're living a life that feels full of meaning and impact and purpose. So we have to rapid fire Moonday today, my friend, because here's the deal. It has been a very fast-paced couple of weeks around here, especially in my personal life. Summer camp business, not literally, but the business of having a kid in summer camp, play dates and events and balancing all with work. And lo and behold, I am at my very last that I am able to record this episode in order to get it out on time for the first moon day of the month. And we got to rapid fire this baby. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're able to take notes on this, great. I would grab something to write with in your planner or your calendar or your journal. If you can't, for any reason, remember that you can, number one, you can bookmark and save this episode and you can always come back to it. Number two, you could always screenshot the part we're chit-chatting. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening in on your favorite podcast platform, you could take a screenshot showing the timestamp of where you're at so you can remember to come back to it and then take a quick note later on. The point is really where the magic of the first moon day of the month episode comes in is when you kind of leave yourself what eventually become these little love notes throughout the month, these little helpful reminders, these little tidbits, anything that zings out at you that we're chit-chatting about, anything that sounds like, that might be a helpful reminder for me, write it down. Because what's going to happen is either throughout the month or at the end of the month when we get together and we reflect back, right, on this past month of August, you're going to see and come across and read these little love notes and reminders, and you're going to be super, super grateful that you did it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Trust me and many of your neighbors who have been doing this for a long time on Moonday Musings. So if you need a way slowed down, go at your pace astrological timeline for this month, that's okay, because you can go to thatwitchnextdoor.com/blog right now and you can read the written astrological timeline at your own speed. You could take screenshots of that. You could copy and paste into your digital calendar. Oh, this is going to be the full moon eclipse day. Oh, it's eclipse season in general at this time. Maybe I'm going to draw a little symbol in my calendar that says, we're in eclipse energy around this time. Okay, so highly recommend jotting down notes. And also, if you need a slowed down version of today or you're a visual learner, make sure you go to thatwitchnextdoor.com/blog and get the written astrological timeline for August 2026, baby. Let's dive right into this. So there's a lot going on this month. And I just want to say that it's eclipse season this month, and we've got a decent amount of retrograde energy going on this month. It's not in the form of Mercury retrograde, which, thank the gods, that Mercury retrograde cycle came to an end. Listen, I really try to take a very open-minded approach to Mercury retrograde. I was born under Mars retrograde in Gemini. I tend to not really mind Mercury retrograde period, but myself and many, many, many others over this last month, holy moly. That was quite a Mercury retrograde. We're not out of the retrograde. So we have Chiron stationing retrograde this month, and we have a couple of asteroids also stationing, additional asteroids stationing retrograde this month. That's Pallas Athena asteroid and Vesta asteroid for anybody that works with the goddess asteroids. I do in my personal practice, my personal astrology studies, and I do with any of my clients and students that specifically work with the goddess asteroids. Otherwise, on Moonday and on that witch podcast, I try to keep it to the most major planets. And we do chit chat and check in about Chiron. But the reason I am briefly bringing them all up without going to super detail is that there will likely be a lot of times throughout this month that you or people around you are going to say things like, oh my God, is Mercury retrograde? Or, oh my God, I thought Mercury retrograde was over. Because there's going to still be retrograde vibes in general. And then on top of that, it is eclipse season. And eclipse season kind of electrifies the air. Can you picture what it feels like when you have built up a bunch of static on accident? You were folding sheets, or you picked up a blanket, or you were taking fabric out of the dryer, right? And you build up a bunch of static electricity, and it needs to discharge. So you get shocked, whatever so that's very parallel to and in connection to eclipse, this electric energy in the air. It can be very, very charging, and it can zip ya and zap ya when you are not expecting it. I really like this analogy a lot. So I just wanted to cast a retrograde veil over this month and an eclipse veil over this month as we talk about the astrology. I just want you to hear everything we talk about and go, plus there's some retrograde energy and eclipse energy. Because not only do we have these asteroids stationing retrograde this month, we already have Neptune and Saturn both in Aries stationed retrograde till the end of the year. So my point is that there's plenty of it right now. Expect things to not function as they normally do or are fully usually intended to do. When you look at the overall energy for this month, it is a very good time for challenging victim mindset and victim narrative, inner dialogue, okay? This is a good time for challenging your own perspective right now. And here's the reason why. With this much eclipse energy and this much retrograde energy, and we have the North Node who just moved into Aquarius, who is lined up with Pluto, who's been doing its job in Aquarius. Change is afoot, my friend. Change is inevitable, my friend. And it's inevitable for all of us. And even those of us who love change and crave change, there is disruption. That's what I should call it. This is disruptive. We are going to be offered some, offered is probably not the best word. We're probably going to be confronted with some disruption. Because I don't know that it's going to be the universe gently saying, here, would you like a little bit of disruption? I think pretty much all of us at this point would be like, no, thank you. No more disruption, please. But disruption is here. So we have Venus changing signs this month, first week of August this week. So on August 6th, on Thursday, happy birthday to Blair, my daughter. She's August 6th. And actually, when I saw this, I was like, oh, cute, on Blair's birthday. Venus is going to enter into its home sign of Libra. And this is always a very harmonious transition. This is where Venus comes into both intellect and style and connection, especially with other people that we love. Venus already loves to connect. When Venus is in its other home sign of Taurus, there's really this big jump in connection to nature. And I feel like we open up even more to this like great, big, beautiful world and all that Mother Earth has to offer us. And we feel so connected to, what naturally and organically exists and that we're a part of it, all of that stuff. When Venus goes into Libra, Libra is this air sign, as opposed to Taurus's earth, right? Earth element. And so we get chatty with each other. We want to connect with each other. We want to learn about each other. We want to do fun things with each other. We don't really want to waste our time not doing fun things. We don't really want to waste our time feeling bored when Venus is in Libra. That is for sure. And so between all of the different like Aquarius energy happening right now, which is really helping to just get us into our own true, weird, organic authenticity, Venus in Libra during a time like this can really grant us some serious permission with our own personal aesthetic, our own personal style, and even bigger than that, just our own personal taste and preferences in general. And surrounding ourselves in what we like and what brings us pleasure and joy, and wanting to do that with the people that we feel joy when we connect with them. So this is, I think that especially with the kind of disruption and like retrograde energy that we're being given, with Venus going into Libra, we might see a little bit of escapism through like socializing and connecting with each other. And I honestly think that there's a healthy level of this to just let ourselves engage in. I think it can be kind of a healthy form of coping and escapism, like reach out to a friend and just fucking have a little bit of fun for once. And also, when we go into air signs and when we use distraction and things that distract us away from discomfort and disruption, know that distraction can kind of run away and get away with us. So it's still something to be mindful of. Now, a couple days later, on August 9th, we have Mercury entering into Leo and turning up the volume on big, bold, beautiful truth right from the heart. And when Mercury is in Leo, we can see this like big oomph in cheering each other on and unapologetically like loving each other and lifting our friends up and being loyal to them. And sometimes other people's big, bold, beautiful truth does not feel great for us. And this, when Mercury is in Leo, again, during this month with all of this retrograde and eclipse context of disruption, I would not be surprised if there are some conversations that happened or some statements that are made and kind of proclaimed that land wrong, hit hard, hit big, make big waves, shift and change things. And this could be a really big time in learning that, even more about who your people are, because if someone's big truth is that incongruent with your own, there's your answer. And there's another alternative, depending on the situation, where it becomes, oh, that's your big, beautiful truth. It's not mine. And there's still space for both of us in relationship with each other, in connection with each other, or in each other's lives, or whatever that is. Leo can also do the rise above thing in the name of living its own truth and authenticity, for sure. So when Mercury is in Leo, we are really talking about that speaking and hearing that big, bold, beautiful, heart-led truth. Now, from August 9th, this brings us to, we've got kind of a big few days here. So we've got August 9th, Mercury shifting into Leo. Then 2 days later, on August 11th, Mars enters Cancer. Excuse me. Then the day after that is our total solar eclipse in Leo. So Mars entering into Cancer, Mars leaving Gemini and entering into Cancer. One, we can see a slowdown and a decrease in what could have been really high intense or just high functioning energy levels. You might see a little dip in that. We might see some of our motives change a little bit, and we might feel a little bit more driven to pursuing the things that matter a lot more to us. When Mars is in Gemini, we can be a little motorized more by what we're curious about. And when Mars is in Cancer, we can be a little more notarized. Motorized and like propelled by connection and meaning and needs, like sensing a need and needing to fill that. And that can definitely relate to emotional needs for sure when we are in the sign of Cancer. Now, day after that, first of two eclipses, we have the total solar eclipse, which is going to be visible in the UK. I know that. I don't know the great big span. I will make sure to link timeanddate.com is always a really great resource for learning about eclipses. And the Old Farmer's Almanac. I really enjoy both of those for eclipse info anytime there's eclipse season. So timeanddate.com and Old Farmer's Almanac going in the show notes for everybody right now. If you want to see where the visibility is, the times, there's always some explanations on both of their sites about like what a solar versus a lunar eclipse is and all of that stuff. So great little info hub there. This is going to be a total solar eclipse on August 12th at 1:36 p.m. Eastern time at 20 degrees of Leo, which is your girl's exact rising sign. I'm 20 degree rising Leo. So we'll see. I'm trying to have that type of a mindset about it. Every time I have to type it and read it out, I'm like, so this is solar eclipse, which means we are at new moon energy when we are in a solar eclipse. So the sun and the moon are both going to be in the sign of Leo, and we are drawing inward and looking in at the dark side of Leo. And the dark side of Leo, I don't mean the quote unquote bad side of Leo. I'm talking about the unconscious and unseen parts of Leo, which is a fascinating place because Leo is all about being seen. Leo's motto is I show. And so when Leo goes into new moon and it is time to not be seen, not be perceived, to go into the unseen, to go into the unconscious, to go into the unknown. That's what a new moon is. That's what the quote unquote dark side of anything is. What are those unconscious, unknown? Sometimes they're just unrealized parts of yourself. Sometimes they are parts of you that need to be earthed, that have been buried. In Leo, these things can be very tied. I was going to say tied and attributed to at the same time. These can be really connected to themes around who we are, our identity, our authenticity, how we show up. They can also be very tied to our creativity when we're in the dark side of Leo. What parts of your creativity are hidden or unseen? When we're in Leo, this can also have a lot to do with our leadership qualities and the leader archetype within each of us. So eclipses are gonna eclipse. When it comes to a new moon solar eclipse, if you are a witch who practices magic or ritual during and under eclipses, take these astrological themes with you what you will. Understand that these are the things that can be surfacing. And I am actually a pretty big proponent of, if you feel super called to ritual and magic under an eclipse, I think it's okay to trust your intuition if intuition is leading you. I want to point out that when we are in an eclipse in Leo, we can feel a little wishy-washy within ourselves. And that is not a time I do recommend ritual work and magic necessarily. I do recommend introspection and reflecting, or I recommend grounding and regulating. But especially in this sign, I recommend expressing, especially creative expressing, and giving yourself a creative outlet to move through any reflections that are coming up or anything that you're struggling with on an internal or external level. I think giving it creative expression under this new moon in Leo solar eclipse could be a really stunning way to spend your time during that part of the eclipse season. After the 12th of August, we do sort of breathe a little bit for a second. And then on August 22nd, Leo season comes to an end and the sun enters into Virgo. And we tend to feel this natural turn toward refinement and efficiency. In traditional astrology, Virgo can be tied to like virgin energy and purity energy. I like to modernize that and talk about efficiency energy. And I'm not talking about like bro boss, productivity culture, efficiency. I'm talking about true, real, organic flow and sustainability. Think self-sustaining ecosystems. That's Virgo. When we see these little micro ecosystems and we study them in nature, and like when little problems arise, the ecosystem, like basically the system births solutions that take care of the problem so that the ecosystem can continue being self-sustaining. That is a beautiful analogy for Virgo energy. That's the efficiency and the refinement I think that we tap into and we feel when Virgo season comes around. And Leo season can be this big season about being super extra, super over the top, and just leaning into excess. And I think that there are so many ways that we deserve that and lean into that, and it fills us in so many special ways. And then I think Virgo season is this very purpose-driven point in the cycle for trimming off the excess. Because if we constantly lived that way, which we kind of do as humans, especially in the Western world, but also just humans in general, we live excessively most of the time. So Virgo season is a great time for looking at where is the unnecessary? Where can I trim away the unnecessary? That's the type of refinement we're going for in Virgo season. This takes us to the 25th of August when Mercury enters also into Virgo, but Virgo is one of Mercury's home signs. Mercury rules Gemini and Mercury rules Virgo. So when the sun is in Virgo and then Mercury enters its home sign of Virgo, we can definitely see another emphasis and an uptick in that Virgo efficiency and sense of refinement. What's kind of a waste? What's bogging down the system? What can we just be honest about and get rid of? How can we upcycle, change, reconstruct so something can be more useful or used in a different way? Again, think ecosystem, not linear hierarchy, productivity culture. Okay, not that type of energy. We're talking ecosystem, natural, organic sustainability. And finally, my friends, this is going to drop us off at the last eclipse of eclipse season for 2026, which is going to be August 28th at 12:18 a.m. Eastern time. So Eastern time, this is just after midnight. So middle of the night, partial lunar eclipse at 4 degrees Pisces. So we are going to be fresh in Virgo season, and we are going to have, I think it's possibly our last eclipse on the Virgo Pisces axis. I'll be fully real with you. Don't quote me on that because I didn't check it. Real magic, real life. I am not going to be Mrs. Perfect Astrologer every day, and that's okay. But I can tell you that over the last several eclipses that took place in the signs of Virgo and Pisces, we might see some resurfacing of events, experiences, feelings associated with things that came up for us during that time. This might be a time that we see a lot of like, I don't know, like, fuck it, I'm embracing magic. Fuck it, this thing matters way more to me. Like there's this, in Pisces, there is such a natural connection to the spirit realms and to the collective unconscious. And Pisces does not super prioritize these little day-to-day in the weeds kind of real world problems that we tend to get tied up in. And because this is a full moon and it's an eclipse, we could see this boiling over of, I'm not going to bog myself down anymore with shit like this that doesn't matter, that I feel no meaning in at all. Pisces is about meaning, and they can feel it, and they can feel it a mile away, and they can therefore sense and feel its void just as strongly. And anything devoid of the meaning and the magic, I feel like under this eclipse is like, I don't have time for this. It needs to, I really see this particular one, especially since it's the full moon, as like a clearing and a release and a letting go of. And that could be something physical and tangible, but it could also be like a habit or a limiting belief. And just to like surrender to your definition of magic, spirit, the collective unconscious, universal energy, or really anything that has meaning to you. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes the Pisces comes out and I'm like, hope they know what I'm saying. But big shifts this month. Lots of electric energy, plenty of disruption along the way. Don't get too jaded by the disruption and isolate by going, this is happening to me. Part of the reason I love going over the astrology together is that even for myself, neighbor, I'll move through this month and I'll be like, remember what we talked about on Moonday? Remember? It's really easy to slip into this victim mindset. It's really easy to slip into this isolating thinking that this is happening only to me and to nobody else and I'm all alone. No. You're not alone. I'm not alone. And we're in this together. And this disruption is not without purpose. And boy, oh boy, are there some serious things in this world that need some fucking disruption right now. So we're gonna just saddle up and ride, friends. Okay, that was excellent. I love you. I have to go pick up my kid. I'm glad we could connect today. Happy Monday. Happy Moonday. Thanks for spending part of your day with me today, neighbor. If you love this podcast, please share it with a friend. Let's grow this witchy, wonderful neighborhood with one another. Who also doesn't need to know what the hell is going on this month? Trust me. So why don't you send this to somebody that it would help, or share us on your social media account. And until I see you next time, make sure that, of course, you are staying safe, keep having fun, and stay magical out there. What is That Witch School? That Witch School is my magical monthly membership that combines safe, welcoming, nurturing community with quality, ethical witchcraft and astrology education. This is like Patreon meets social media, but better. We have monthly calls hosted and guided by myself, as well as multiple instructors within our school. An incredibly beautiful and supportive community of like-minded witches, all built from the neighbors within our neighborhood right here. Plus, there is a just astounding library of resources and content that is always growing, and so much more. You can go back and listen to my episode on the podcast called Welcome to That Witch School 2025 for all kinds of details and information on the membership, the different plans you can subscribe for, pricing, and frequently asked questions, everything that you need to know. Or you can always send me a direct message or email if you ever have any questions. You can get my contact information in the show notes below. And when you're ready to join us, you can go to thatwitchschool.com and find the plan that works for you and join our magical community today.